Imagine waking up in a sea of clouds, face to face with an angel, only to be told, yep, you died. But hey, no worries, because now you get to start over in a magical world with elemental powers. No hero mission, no prophecy, just vibes. That's exactly what happens to Rio, an average guy given a second shot at life. Except his simple wish for peace? Yeah, that gets complicated real fast. This is the story of a laid-back water mage who accidentally becomes an S-rank powerhouse. Rio regains consciousness in a dreamlike place, surrounded by clouds, standing before a serene angel named Michael. With a calm voice, Michael drops the news: Rio recently died. The cause? The all-too-familiar isekai special, Truck Kun. But instead of heading to the afterlife, Rio's soul is being rerouted to a different world. The kicker? He won't have to save anyone. There's no demon lord, no ancient evil threatening the world. Michael simply tells him, live how you want. Rio smiles. All he wants is peace, a quiet, carefree life in the countryside. No stress, no chaos, just a place to relax and maybe grow a few plants. Michael agrees and even sets him up with a starter pack, a small house, food for 2 months, beginner's guidebooks, and a protective barrier to keep monsters away. The new world is called Fee, where about 20% of people can manipulate elemental magic based on their natural affinity. Rio? He's got water. Rio awakens in his new home, a quaint wooden cottage nestled in the middle of a peaceful glade. The walls hum with enchantments, and the gentle breeze carries the scent of untouched nature. It's quiet, serene, just as he hoped. But more than anything, Rio is curious, eager to see if magic, something he had only read about in fantasy novels, is truly real. He steps outside, focuses his thoughts, and says the first spell that comes to mind. Water, water, come forth. Instantly, a sphere of water materializes in his palm, glimmering like liquid crystal. Shocked and delighted, Rio laughs, but then he wonders, what happens if he doesn't speak the incantation? He tries again, this time simply visualizing the water. With just a thought, the same sphere forms. No words needed. It clicks. Magic in this world isn't bound by rigid rules. It's fueled by will, by imagination, and that realization changes everything. His first instinct, use it to fill the bathtub. He conjures several spheres and dumps them into the wooden tub, but excitement quickly fades. The water is freezing. He needs heat, but he only controls water. Determined to solve the problem, Rio experiments. He tries to build a fire the old-fashioned way, rubbing sticks together, using rocks, even trying to replicate what he's seen on survival shows. Everything fails. Frustrated, he lays on the grass, staring at the sun. That's when the idea hits. He freezes water into a thin lens, focusing the sunlight through it like a magnifying glass. It takes patience, trial, and lots of squinting, but eventually a spark catches. Rio shouts with joy. He did it. Not with fire magic, but through clever manipulation of his own affinity. Hours later, as he soaks in a steaming bath, muscles relaxed and mind buzzing with possibilities, Rio feels the thrill of success. He's barely scratched the surface, and already magic feels limitless. The next few days are filled with intense trial and error. Rio becomes obsessed with pushing his magic further. He understands that freezing water involves pulling heat out of it, so logically the reverse must be possible, adding heat to warm it. At first, it's slow progress. He boils water by compacting it under pressure, but it either freezes from overfocus or evaporates entirely. The balance is delicate. He starts with small bowls, then cups, then tries to maintain steady warmth. After nearly boiling his fingers twice, he finally figures out the trick: emotional control. Calm thoughts yield steady warmth. Panic or anger make the water spike or freeze. Eventually, he perfects the technique to create lukewarm, then comfortably warm, then precisely heated water for cooking and bathing. It's not flashy, but it's foundational. In a world where magic is a daily tool, mastery of the basics is just as powerful as fireballs. He also notices something else. Each time he uses magic, a subtle fatigue creeps in, a drain on his stamina. He's learning not just about spells, but about mana itself, its limits, its flow, and how to regenerate it through rest and meditation. By the end of the week, he no longer worries about making a fire. Warm baths? Easy. Boiling water? Simple. Rio has learned to manipulate temperature with precision, and with that foundation, he's ready for the next step. With survival basics covered, Rio turns his attention to something more urgent: defense. His food supply won't last forever, and his only weapon is a knife. If he's going to venture into the forest, he needs real combat magic. His first attempts are basic. He throws water balls at trees. It works, barely. They splatter harmlessly, useless against even the weakest monster. So he revisits the concept of pressure. He focuses his energy into compressing the water, trying to turn it into a piercing jet. It's tough. His first jets look like a squirt gun, but he remembers what Michael said: clear mental imagery strengthens spells. He meditates, visualizing fire hoses, cannons, cutting lasers. Slowly his jets become more focused, slicing through bark and even chipping at stone. His magic isn't just stronger, it's efficient. Every day he trains from dawn to dusk. His arms ache, his mana runs dry, but progress is visible. He discovers new tricks, turning water to mist, using steam to distract, and freezing jets into sharp ice needles mid-flight. By the end of the second week, Rio has a basic arsenal. Not flashy, not perfect, but deadly enough for real fights. With his food supplies dwindling, Rio finally enters the forest. It's a dense, primal place, alive with rustling leaves and distant roars. Cautiously, he tracks footprints to a riverbank, collecting useful items: quartz for fire starting, herbs for detoxification. But then, a low growl. Turning slowly, Rio sees it. A boar. Massive, muscular, its eyes bloodshot. A lesser boar, according to his guidebook. The weakest monster in the forest, but still deadly. The beast charges. Rio's instincts scream at him to run, but he stands his ground. At the last second, he rolls to the side, barely dodging the tusks. Panic claws at his chest, but training kicks in. He conjures a sheet of ice beneath the boar's hooves. It slips, crashing hard. Wasting no time, Rio launches a row of ice spikes. The boar shrieks, impaled. It thrashes once, then lies still. Breathing heavily, Rio approaches, checking the guidebook. The boar is indeed weak. If this was the easiest monster, what else lies deeper? He butchers the meat, stores it safely, and reflects. The fear, the rush, the satisfaction. He survived. He won. Back home, Rio examines the monster guide more thoroughly. The latter pages are terrifying. One entry describes dragons, ancient beasts with near limitless power. They breathe elemental devastation and can raze cities in minutes. Another entry, more cryptic, simply reads: Akuma, fallen angels, unknown threat level, do not engage. There are no illustrations, just a final warning. If encountered, you are already dead. It sends a chill down his spine, but Rio has no time to worry. The next day, while foraging, a sudden gust throws him off balance. A shadow streaks above. Then, pain. A razor-thin wind slash grazes his arm. He looks up. An assassin hawk, agile, intelligent, and deadly. It attacks again, wings slicing through the air like blades. Rio barely forms a shield in time. He runs. Spells fly. Ice crashes against wind. Eventually, he blinds the hawk in one eye with a lucky strike. It screeches and retreats. But before vanishing, it locks eyes with him. Cold, vengeful, it will return. Days later, lost in the woods while fleeing the hawk, Rio stumbles upon a glowing lake. There, standing silently, is a headless knight, a Dullahan. It doesn't attack. Instead, it raises its sword. They clash, not with rage, but like training partners. The Dullahan tests him over and over. It never speaks, never relents. Every night, Rio returns, and every night he loses. But each time he lasts a little longer, blocks a little better, hits a little harder. One night, the Dullahan extends its blade, channeling water magic. Rio is stunned. He never imagined someone else with the same affinity. Without a word, the Dullahan hands him its blade. A gift, a challenge, a lesson. Rio accepts. He now carries more than just spells. He carries legacy, and he's only getting started. Weeks pass. Rio's training with the Dullahan strengthens his body, sharpens his instincts, and elevates his ice magic to a new level. He now wields the water-forged blade with precision and resolve. Every night, their silent duels carve away his weaknesses, leaving behind only raw potential. But peace doesn't last. While out gathering herbs one afternoon, a shadow returns to the sky. A familiar screech pierces the forest. It's the assassin hawk, but changed. Larger, faster. Its feathers now shimmer pitch black. It had evolved. The Hawk's wind blades are sharper than ever, slicing through trees like paper. Ryo reacts on instinct, throwing up 5 layers of ice walls. They shatter instantly. The wind magic has leveled up. Dodging through the forest, Ryo launches volleys of ice spikes, but the Hawk dodges them with supernatural speed. Then it lets out a blood-curdling screech, a sonic magic attack that destabilizes Ryo's control. His ice shields flicker and vanish. Suddenly, the air crackles. A bolt of lightning fires from the Hawk's wings, hurtling straight at him. Ryo narrowly avoids it, grounding the charge with a wooden stick like a makeshift lightning rod. But the Hawk isn't done. It swoops in, claws glowing with elemental force. Ryo summons his blade, parrying desperately. They clash again and again. Every blow rattles his arms, but he sees an opening, a small gap in its aerial stance. He lunges. The ice blade cuts clean through its neck. The Hawk crashes to the earth, still twitching. Ryo approaches, heart heavy. He sees himself in the creature. Both of them trained, evolved, fought to be stronger, but only one survived. Before Ryo can catch his breath, a tremendous gust blows through the clearing. Trees bend, the sky darkens, a dragon lands, massive, majestic, terrifying. Ryo remembers the guidebook's warning: if you see a dragon, it's already too late. Frozen in place, he braces for death. But then, a voice enters his mind. Calm, ancient. The dragon speaks via telepathy. It isn't here to fight. It's searching for a black hawk that passed through recently. Ryo swallows hard and admits the truth. The hawk attacked him and he had no choice. The dragon pauses, surprised that a human defeated such a creature, but it isn't angry. Instead, it focuses on the blade Ryo carries. The dragon's eyes widen. That sword, it's the Fairy King's blade, a weapon not seen in millennia. For the Fairy King to entrust it to a mortal, Ryo must be special. They talk for hours, the dragon curious about Ryo's journey, Ryo eager to learn more about the world. It becomes clear, Ryo is on a path far greater than he imagined, but eventually the dragon must leave. With a gentle farewell, it takes to the skies. Ryo, standing alone beneath the stars, feels the weight of destiny settle on his shoulders. Far above, in the celestial plane, Michael flips through Ryo's reincarnation records. He yawns, scanning the standard notes: death by truck, chosen element, peaceful life request. Then he stops, eyes wide. A hidden trait. Michael rereads it twice. Eternal youth. He hasn't seen this trait in over 10,000 years. It's rare, powerful, world-changing. Michael leans back in his chair, thoughtful. Looks like things might get interesting again. Ryo's story began as a peaceful escape, a chance at simplicity, but the world of Fee had other plans. From mastering magic to surviving battles, forming bonds with legendary beings to inheriting ancient relics, he's become something far more. A simple water mage? Not anymore. He's walking the path of legends now. If you want to see what comes next, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this adventure, it's only just beginning.